All right. I believe there might be some, I think the camera's going slow. I might have touched something. I don't know. There seems like there's some like little lag.
I seem good on my side.
You're good? Oh, is it good on your side? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It just must be me. All right. We are live. Okay.
You're good.
So we'll go live on StreamYard. It takes a while to like warm up for StreamYard. So, all right. So we are live. We're live with one of our clients, Justin Scott. And we're going to talk about, with Justin, we're going to talk about his sales process that we've taught him. Okay. Now, Justin cold calls. Okay. Who on here wants to learn how to effectively cold call? Who on here wants to be able to not have like sweaty palms and like this nervous anxiety feeling when you're about to pick up the phone to actually make a cold call? Okay. There's a reason why you have that feeling, that anxiety, and it really doesn't have much to do with you. It has a lot to do with the skills you've been taught that's triggering sales resistance and triggering your prospects to throw out objections and go into fight or flight mode and reject you, which causes your brain to react that way. So once we have the right skills that get prospects to open up, your nervousness goes away. And we're going to talk about that today. So Justin, just walk us through real quick, and I'll introduce people here because we're going live on the Facebook group, Facebook business page here, my personal Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Okay. Tell us what you sell real quick, and then we'll do a proper introduction.
Yes. So I sell traditional advertising. So it's the old school stuff, the radio, the TV, and now with some of the new stuff, OTT, Sirius XM, podcast.
Okay.
So more offline.
Yeah. And who are you selling to? Like when you're cold calling, who's picking up the phone? Who are you selling to? What type
I'm calling C-suite, so chief marketing officers, marketing directors, and then for smaller companies, like under like 100 employees, it's going to be your business owner sometimes, growth marketing, performance marketing, those kind of guys.
Okay. And I'm assuming these people are used to people cold calling them all the time.
I would assume so, yes. Because I'm calling, after COVID, there's not a lot of offices open.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times I'm just calling their mobile cell phone.
Yeah. So they're used to cold calling. So they're going to have already these walls of resistance. All right. So let's do this. If you're brand new to our live, okay, because like I said, I'm going live here in our Facebook group, Sales Revolution. We got, almost 19,000 of you in there. Our Facebook business page, we got like 66,000 followers on there. LinkedIn, my personal Facebook, YouTube now. So if you're brand new, you're like, who are these guys? My name is Jeremy Miner. I'm the founder and chairman of Seventh Level. So we're an organization. We're a sales training organization that trains people exactly like you watching me right now. So we help sales people like you, sales professionals, sales executives, coaches, sales managers, sales leadership, business owners, and we help you transform the way you and your team sell by learning specific skilled questions and techniques that work with human behavior. Now, we're going to talk about that with Justin here. What actually works with human behavior when you make a cold call that gets your prospect to want to pull you in and actually engage with you and open up to you rather than going into fight or flight mode and trying to get rid of you. Okay, there's a massive difference in your income once you know and understand the difference. Now, we call those neuro-emotional persuasion questions. We teach you the right tonality. The tonality is equally as important as the questions to get them to engage, that eliminates sales pressure from your prospect, takes out the resistance where the prospect is actually open. They're curious enough where they want to engage, and it gets them to pull you in and eventually sell themselves on why they need to make a change. All right. Now, if you want to learn those type of advanced skills, we're going to give you a few hors d'oeuvres right here. We've only got 25 minutes to do this. You want to learn skills like Justin, where he's making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in commissions now, and like thousands of our clients are doing in every industry. Well, probably even the industry you are watching me that you're on right now. It doesn't even matter your industry. We train 160 plus industry this time. So if you want to start making your first 10 grand a month commission checks, if you want to start making 20 grand a month commissions, 30 grand a month in commissions, 40 plus, 50,000 plus commissions in the industry you are selling in now, or if you're a sales manager and you're wanting your teams to double their production or triple their production, or if you're a business owner and you're trying to scale, say you're trying to go from 7 figures to 8 figures. If you've already hit 8 figures, how are you going to go to 9 figures? If you're already 9 figures, how are you going to go north of that with the same selling skills? So if you want to learn those type of advanced skills, in the comments section, just post hashtag NEPQ, hashtag NEPQ, or better, just message me directly. If you're on LinkedIn, just send me a DM. If you're on Facebook, send me a DM, or the Facebook group, send me a DM. If you're on YouTube, I don't know how you can message me. Just post something and we'll have somebody reach out to you, okay? So post hashtag NEPQ or message me directly, and either myself, Marco Cortese, our Chief Revenue Officer, or Matt Ryder, my business partner and CEO, will message you more training options and details if you want to learn how to sell more. You don't have to learn how to sell more. It's okay. We already know all these skills. All right. Now, if you're on the live right now, let's do this. If you're on the live right now, grab your phone. I want you to post hashtag live. So if you're on the live right now, post hashtag live. A bunch of you have already done that. Thank you. So if you're on the live, post hashtag live. And if you're on the replay, post hashtag replay. So go do that. I don't care what platform you're on, post hashtag live. If you're on the replay, post hashtag replay. Also, whatever platform you're on, go smash. I want you to take your phone and smash the heart button and smash the like button. I want you to see hundreds of smashed hearts and hundreds of smashed likes. Because why would I ever have Justin reveal some of his secrets that we've taught him, where he's now making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in commissions and working far less hours? Hundreds of smashed likes, hundreds of smashed hearts. Okay, Justin, nobody cares about me. They just want to hear from you. All right, so walk us through, Justin. Were you born out of your mother's womb with advanced cold calling skills and questioning skills and tonality skills, or is that something you possibly had to learn?
So definitely something you have to learn.
Okay.
When I started, the guys that kind of trained me came from debt collections and the old school of selling.
Okay.
And it was
so you got into selling what, 6 or 7 years ago?
7 years ago.
Yeah, 6 or 7 years ago. What did you do before that?
I was a waiter.
Okay.
At Morton Steakhouse.
Okay, so you're a waiter at Morton Steakhouse right across the corner over here from the office here in Scottsdale. So you're a waiter. What caused you to even go to sales in the first place?
I waited on my boss.
Okay.
Yeah, so kind of worked out
the
there.
Boss hired you.
Yes, sir.
And he's like, okay, here's your job.
Straight commission based.
You're going to start cold calling.
Yeah, straight commission based, 1099. So you earn what you keep. So it's basically find your prospects, you call on them. So he gives you basically our CRM, and then use a lot of LinkedIn and then Google search. Mm-hmm. Now I use like a Zoom Info or a Seamless AI.
Okay.
But it's basically just pound the phones, and sooner or later you get one, and then from there.
So your boss's mentality was like buy or die. Just keep calling a bunch of leads. You'll get mainly no's, 99% no's, and you're going to get that one yes, and you're going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, all you need is like 1 or 2 yeses, and over time you'll be doing pretty well.
Okay, now tell me, once you started, because you're like, oh my gosh, I can do this. It's going to be so easy. You pick up the phone, you start cold calling with some type of script they gave you, and what did you find out really quickly?
9 months later, I finally get my first client.
Okay, so 9 months, you made $0.
Yes, yeah, pretty much. Yep.
All right. Now, that's the way they trained you, triggered that. Now, all those prospects you were cold calling, because why don't you tell everybody what you sell again? Because a lot of people just came on.
Radio, TV, advertising. So if you're watching TV, you see someone that calls a 800 number, call this number, go to this website. That's usually what I'm selling them, the advertising space.
All these people you're cold calling have some type of problem, probably, right?
Usually it's growth or cost per lead, cost per response, something like that.
Yeah. So your solution solves that, but yet for 9 months, nobody even bought.
Yeah, it's kind of like most people do like a SaaS, like a software as a service. Ours is like an agency as a service kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we're buying weekly.
All right. So the buy or die mentality, sales is a numbers game, go through the script. Most people are going to say, no, you're going to get that one yes. It takes you 9 months to make your first deal. Now, during that 9 months, or even after you made your first deal, because, as my good friend Brian Tracy always says, and I know you're not this way now, but every blind squirrel eventually finds a nut.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? So you found the one nut. They were like just the easy sale. But I remember when you first got into the training with us, because I was working with you in our advanced inner circle. I remember you would say like, hey, I get really nervous when I make these calls. Walk everybody through what was going on.
Yeah, so I'm calling people's direct lines, their cell phones, and I'm just like, you get enough people that say like, no, thank you, I'm not interested, before you get 2 words out.
Yeah.
So I started reading some books, like the one from Carnegie, that one.
Okay.
Those old books.
I got to get them to like me. Okay.
Jordan Belfort, Buy or Die, Work on Tonality. So some things were pretty good in that book. And then I read a book by Jim Hall, Never Say No, or Get Them to Say No, and then Split the Difference.
Okay.
And then I started like, okay, these are a little bit different, but these are more negotiation books.
Yeah.
And then I heard you on Brad Lee, and I'm like, and you start hearing little things. I'm like, well, I hear that all the time. I hear that all the time. I hear that all the time. So it must be me, and that it just resonated with me. I'm like, and I'm already making good money by then, but I'm like, I want to make more. And I don't want to.
I'm here. How do I get to here if I sell the same way?
And I don't want to hate doing it too. Like, there's one thing to make good money and still hate it, but now I want to make better money and be like, relax and work less. And
walk it through. I mean, but by the time you got to us, you were already making 6 figures.
Right.
But like you said, what's gotten you here? Buy or die, call all day, work a ton of hours. How did that make you feel at the end of every day?
Exhausted.
Yeah, mentally.
I want to be over. Like, I'm done cold calling.
Yeah.
It makes you think about like, hey, maybe I'll just get a different sales job where I get inbound leads, the easy stuff.
Right.
So it's not but it's not easy too.
Yeah.
It's just a different type of thing, but you still have to have the right skills.
Yeah, because when you're triggering the prospects to go into fight or flight mode every time you talk to them, because one thing we have to understand, it's just behavioral science. You know this now, of course, but everybody listening, within the first 7 to 12 seconds of any sales call you're on or any sales interaction, I don't care if it's over the phone, if it's door to door, if it's in a boardroom, if it's in a home, it doesn't matter. Your prospect is picking up on your verbal and nonverbal cues based on your tonality and what you are saying and or asking that triggers their brain to respond in one of 2 ways, or react really in one of 2 ways. Now, like Justin is saying, if you come across in that call, if you come across aggressive, if you come across needy, like you're nervous, you need the sale, and you come across attached. Now, does everybody understand what attached means? Okay. And you don't know the right questions to ask. It triggers the brain of the prospect to go into what we call fight or flight mode. That's why they try to get rid of you real quick on a cold call, right, Justin? They're like, oh, we're good. We already have somebody for that. Or no, thank you, we're not interested. Or, oh, no, we're good. Well, I'm really busy. Can you call me back in a week, a month, a year later? See, that's triggering. So if you're getting that when you're cold calling, guys, it's because you're triggering that by what you're saying and your tonality, how you're coming across. Okay. Especially.
And sometimes you even get the person that will surprise you and you don't trigger it that one time.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, oh, wait, where do I go from here?
Yeah. What do I do?
Expecting this. I was expecting to get hung up on. I was this. So having the next steps from there is very important too. It's because you got to be ready for everything.
Yeah, it's so true. Now, once you learn NEPQ, neuro emotional persuasion question, like our clients know from our virtual training courses and obviously advanced courses as well, when you come into that call and you're more neutral, like you're not quite sure if you can even help yet. How would you know? You don't even know anything about their situation yet. You come across with that tonality, and you're more relaxed, like collective confidence, and especially detached. And you know the right questions to ask, it triggers the brain to become curious enough where the person on the other line becomes curious enough to actually engage with you, to actually open up to you and have a 2-way conversation. That's where it starts. So Justin, once you got into NEPQ and you started learning that when you became a client, what did you first start to notice from your prospects on their end?
They weren't hanging up. So
They weren't hanging up.
They weren't
Now,
hanging
can
up.
you imagine if you're cold calling and most of your prospects are not hanging up in the first 30 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes, how many more sales you would make just because they weren't hanging up? Okay, so they weren't hanging up. Why do you think they weren't hanging up?
I wasn't coming off as like nervous or needy, or just like it was coming off more detached. So it's allowed me to open up. And then once I get past like problem awareness and stuff like that, having the script for building the consequence of not getting our solution or doing the presentation. The presentation actually helped a lot. Just going through it, have this notes for that. Cause I used to kind of just wing everything. And then
so you used to wing everything and like hope and pray at the end, like, good Lord, please, I need this sale. Please let it go through. That's not a good position to be in, kids. Like I call that hopium. It's a drug that so many salespeople and business owners take, where they hope and pray something they're going to say is going to magically trigger people to move forward and buy. It's not a way to really scale. To scale for sure. Go ahead.
So it's helping the presentation, and then for me, a big one is like my clients stay with me. So like I'm also like account manager, so that's the other side.
Yeah.
But it's also asking the right questions and keeping the client too. So it's also going to help me with that too. Like,
because the way you get paid, you get an upfront commission, but you also get paid, I think, on a monthly basis, as long as the client keeps paying, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's a big part of your revenue. That causes you not to have to keep cold calling so much, because you keep having recurring revenue with what you sell.
From there, like the referral business. So like we do give our client a lot of the same people run the same circles, or someone might go to another company after they leave one, and then they'll call me like, hey. So it's like that's less selling.
So now you're getting more referrals because the people you sell to actually feel comfortable enough with you and they trust you, right? And your company's getting them a result. So now it's easier for you to go to them and get referrals. So you're doing less and less cold calling, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So you noticed they were far more open to you. They didn't hang up with you. What did it do for you though, personally, as a salesperson?
Me personally, well, I mean, anxiety is huge. Less hours are huge. So I'm making, a 10% increase is massive. Like most people, that's a lot of people's salary per year. Yeah. So, if I can just, get that little tweak a little bit here and there and grow my book of business. Yeah. It's much harder to grow at this level than it is at a much lower level. Sure. But, I'm just trying to get up there with you, Marco, and Matt,
You're getting there, dude. You're still learning. That's the great part about being in the training, is you're constantly learning. I already know, you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year now, which, you're making like multiple six figures a year. That's a lot of money, folks. Okay. But your goal is to make, more than that. How do I get up to 700,000 a year? How do I get up to $1 million?
Yeah. How do I get $1 million? How do I get 1.2?
Exactly. Exactly. 100%. You're still learning. And that's the great part about the Virtue training. You're always learning. Now, let's talk about some tactical stuff we've trained you. Let's give the folks some goods here. Mm-hmm. Before you learned what we call a problem statement that triggers curiosity for them to engage, when you used to call with the old way of selling, what were the first words out of your mouth? I have to hear
that. What do you mean? Like
prospect answers, hello, this is Jim. And what would you used to say?
First words I'm Justin. I'm with Converse Media. I'm calling because I see you guys need. I'd have to look at my own script, but it's something like that. Like, hi, I'm with this, blah, blah, blah. It's that usual.
Hey, John, I'm with Comcast Media. The reason why I called you was.
Yeah, see if you're looking at like any, we can help you save money on your media. Blah, blah, blah. We have the best rates, this,
yeah.
this.
And what would most of your prospects, 99% of your prospects say within the first 20 seconds when you got that out of your mouth?
No, thank you. We already have this. No, thank you. I don't need this. It was one of those two.
And what would you typically say to that?
Well, they don't. Then they just hang up. You don't really get another word in after that.
Boom, done. All right. That, folks, that's the way most salespeople are taught. It wasn't Justin's fault. That's what he was taught to do. Hey, you got to call 200 leads to make one sale, 500 leads to make one sale. You know, if you just keep doing it, you know, hey, I mean, like I said, you can be a baseball player if you just keep swinging. You know, you'll strike out, 99% of the time, but then you'll have that one hit. Well, I hate to tell you, you're going to be sitting on the bench. So sales is the same way, right? You don't want to strike out every time. You don't make very much money. Stop thinking the numbers mentality and think more about the quality of the actual conversation and how do I get the prospect to actually open up and want to engage with me, all right? Trigger curiosity. Now, when we started teaching you, because you got into like our advanced 3.0, I think you moved up into like.
No, I went straight to inner circle.
Oh, you went to straight into inner circle. Wow.
Yeah.
You're just going all out.
I want you in my pocket. That's basically that. I'm like, I'm not doing it unless I get access to him and he writes my script.
All right.
Yeah. It's very confusing. It's confusing off the bat. And then I had to break old habits at the same time. Yeah. And then
a lot of times we have to snack the old habits out of you guys and rebuild you, right? Into like
slow down.
Yeah, and slow down the way you're talking now. So we taught you to ask what's called a problem statement. Now, with cold calling, a problem statement, because most salespeople are taught this. Hi, hey, John, it's Justin King with XYZ Company. Hey, the reason why I was calling you today was, click. Oh, we're not interested, click. We already have somebody for that, click. Oh, now's not a good time. Can you call me back later? Click. Like that is triggering your prospects to go into fight or flight mode and do that to you guys. You got to stop the madness. Stop doing stuff that doesn't actually work, hoping and praying it's going to work. Okay? Let's work on stuff that actually works, that works with human behavior to get them over. So we taught you what's called a problem statement that focuses on one or two problems that any of your prospects you call can identify with, something they think about as the business owner or C-level, executive, that trigger curiosity enough for them to keep engaging with you. How do we disarm the prospect? So we call that the ABDs of selling. Always be disarming, not always be closing. In 2022, if you got the mantra of always be closing, you're going to get smacked around in the face, especially in more of a complex selling environment, which Justin is in. Okay, if you're selling $5 a month magazine subscriptions door to door, sure, I'll always be closing. You won't sell as much as the reps we train that do that, but you can get away with it. You start selling high-end stuff or stuff that actually, is bigger products and services, you're going to get smashed in the mouth pretty quick selling that way. Okay. You're going to get kicked out of the room, kicked off the phone real quick. So I think we taught you, I don't remember your problem statement. Maybe share with
Jeremy there?
This is Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy, this is Justin here. I was hoping you could, possibly help me out for a minute.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. What's this all about? What's going on?
Well, I'm not sure if you're the right person that I should be talking to, but I guess I just called to see if your company would be open to look at any possible issues around your offline media buys, specifically around radio media buys.
Okay. That
might be just causing you guys to overspend on your advertising each month.
What do you mean by overspend?
Well, you know how a lot of companies nowadays get frustrated with their advertising not generating a consistent, cost-effective return. They're concerned about rising advertising costs, competition in the marketplace, and just, missing out on, a better lead.
Okay.
Well, what I do is I help companies like that buy, manage, and optimize their offline media campaigns.
Okay.
So they can have a better cost per lead and make more profits in their business.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. How do you guys do that, though?
Well,
we can stop.
We can get into all that mumbo jumbo, but
yeah, we can stop right there. So the part about the problem statement is it's not meant to sell them. It's meant to engage them enough where they become curious enough to actually enter into a two-way conversation. Because if you can't disarm them like that, the sale's over at hello. There's just no sale there. Okay. So it's all about disarming. Now, when we started teaching you how to do that, how did your prospects start reacting to that? besides just not hanging up?
Yeah, they actually become interested, and they're
Yeah.
like, and some of them, like, it might not be the right time for them, or might be something that's been with the company for 2 weeks, and they're like, what, it's not right for me right now, but call me back in a couple weeks when I get my bearings under me, which is fine. That means they're not trying to get me off the phone. They're more of conversational. Oh, okay, well, let me ask you this, or they'll, and then you just go to like, well, what are you guys doing for advertising now? To kind of like generate.
Yeah, then you go right into your first situation
Mhm.
questions, because you got to find out, you and them have to find out what they're, oh, okay, and what do you guys do for advertising now? Or how do you bring in new leads and new clients? Okay, and then boom, you're right into a freaking conversation over somebody you literally just cold call, who has
Right.
no idea who you are, who was not expecting anyone to call them, and has probably never heard of you or your company before. And he's over here closing deals that way. Who on here wants to learn those type of skills? If that's you, then just DM me. Just send me a message. Be like, hey, off the record, I want to know how to do that. Okay, we won't tell anybody that you want to learn how to sell more so you make more money. It's okay. All right. So what else? What else? What else do you feel like? What advice? So we taught you the problem statement. Your prospects are open now. You start to go through, and at least if they're way too busy or they're in another meeting, they're at least not trying to hang up on you or get rid of you like fight or flight mode. They're actually somewhat interested, and then scheduling something with you where when you're calling them back now, there's an actual appointment, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that? Somebody said sign up, it's worth every penny. That's funny. How do you do that? Like when they're like, I'm interested in this, Justin. We were talking about it the other day, but now's not a good time. Can you call me back in a couple of weeks?
Or use your calendar one.
Calendar commitment. Yeah, because if you don't have a confirmed appointment, when you call back in a couple of weeks, are they going to remember you? Probably not.
Probably not.
Right? So what
or they'll say, can you just send me more information? Well, I guess I could, but I'm not really sure if we can actually help you yet. I'd have to know a little bit more about what you're looking for to see if we can help you in the first place.
And what do they do when you say that?
Well, they're stuck on the phone, and then you're just like, well, what do you guys do for advertising now? Because you need more information. You're just going to send them
how do you know what information to even send them when you don't even know anything about what they're doing?
In the old days, I just send like, oh, here you go. Here's a sample schedule. Here's this, like whatever you need.
And how many of those people would get back to you? 0. Exactly. Oh yeah. Hey, I'm interested, but can you just send me information? Yeah, possibly. But just so you're aware,
just to put the best information together for you.
Just so I can get
exactly looking for
information for you, because I don't know a lot about what your company is. What are you actually looking for? Oh yeah, I could possibly do that. I guess just so I can get the best information for you. What exactly are you looking for? Now you can do it that way, but if you're cold calling, you can't really say that. You have to, because they didn't reach out to you looking for anything. So you have to reword that. Oh yeah, okay. So just so I can get the best information to you, because just so you know, I'm not quite sure if we can even help you yet. I'd have to understand a little bit more about what you're doing as far as like advertising and like your cost and profitability, just to see if we can even help you in the first place. So for example, like, what do you guys do for advertising now? And boom, you're right into the situation questions, right? And then when you get towards the end of that, then you can come back around and you do what? You use a calendar commitment to schedule the next appointment, right? How does a calendar commitment work for you?
It works. It works when I nail it right with the right tonality.
Okay.
That's I'm still working on that, because I had to go from like my speed.
You went from buy or die, which is way over here, to Jeremy Minor, disarming the prospects. Completely different methodologies, completely different results, though, for sure. So with the counter commitment, I'll share that with everybody else. So counter commitment, they're like, hey, can you just call me back later? I'm really busy, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, possibly. It's kind of, sometimes it's hard to randomly get a hold of me with my schedule. What I can do, though, if it helps you, if you have your calendar handy, I can pull up mine and have you book a specific time with me. That way you don't have to chase me down and vice versa. Would that help you? And then what do they usually do?
They say, yeah, that's good. And then,
Yeah, that's good. And you book an appointment. So you actually have a real live appointment. So when you call that appointment, not a cold call now, it's actually a real live appointment.
Right.
All right. Any last words of advice for everybody listening out there?
If you're having trouble, it's definitely worth going through Inner Circle and learning the sales, because it's not about just having a script. It's about knowing your script and being so comfortable with your script that no matter what the prospect says, you know how to say it back to them, but very conversationally.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if that's a word, but like in conversation, like knowing when to say,
Well, it's natural.
like this. Yeah.
Right. Where you're bridging from question to question, where you're opening them up even further, and they're going below the surface. You're not asking a question and they give you 1 or 2 word answer, stay surface level. Then you ask another question and they say yes or no, and the conversation feels awkward. It's legitimately getting them to go below the surface to find out what their real problems are. And not only what their real problems are, but the root cause of the problem. And then not just the root cause, but how the problems are actually affecting them even personally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're able to do that, as you know, selling becomes pretty profitable.
Right.
Now, if you're not able to do that, you keep banging your head against the wall, hoping and praying. Which is more risky?
The latter.
Probably. All right. Hey, Justin, thanks for being on here. You're the
Absolutely.
myth and the legend. Congratulations. Cold calling beast over there. Once you got the right skills, you're crushing it. Now, if you guys want to learn those skills, if you're in cold calling, or if you sell business to business, or if you sell business to consumer, and you want to stop the fight or flight, if you want to stop the I want to think it over, or I need to talk to my spouse, or I need to get more quotes, or I need to do more research, or I just don't have the money, now's not a good time. If you want to stop all that from happening, like our clients don't have that issue anymore. You want to start making 10 grand a month in commissions, or 20 grand a month in commissions, or 30 grand a month, or 40 or 50 grand a month in commissions in the industry you're in now. Because I guarantee you, we are training salespeople in your industry, probably companies as well, where those salespeople are doubling your numbers, watching me right now, or they're tripling what you're doing, or they're quadrupling what you're doing, selling exactly what you are now. They are wiping the floor. And it's not because they have cooler hair. It's not because they have stronger muscles. It's not because, they're just some born salesperson. Nobody's born with those skills. They put their pants on the same way in the morning. Do they brush their teeth? They brush their teeth. Do they eat breakfast like you? They eat breakfast like you. The only difference is your lack of knowledge compared to their knowledge they have from the training. That is the only difference that keeps you here, whereas our clients are up here in their income and results who sell exactly what you are. So you want to learn those skills, message me directly on LinkedIn, message me directly in the Facebook group, message me directly in the Facebook business page, message me directly on my personal Facebook. Either myself, Matt Ryder, our CEO, or Marco Cortese, our Chief Revenue Officer, will message you back details on different training options to see if we can help. Justin, thanks. I know you just moved from California to Texas. How's Texas?
Sure. Texas is good.
No state income tax.
No state income tax. Land the free.
Keeping more of that money, baby. I love it. When you start making a lot of money in California, they take all of it. You got to get over to Texas.
That's right. Yes, they do. I think Arizona no state income tax too, right?
Arizona, it's like 4%. It's not bad. The top level is like 4%. It kind of sucks, but it's better than like 14%.
14. Yeah.
All right, my man. Everybody take care.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on.